What's up, dudes? Chooch back with another one. Today we're going to be talking about the Commander Pro electric unicycle, the V13 and the Sherman S. What's up with these wheels? Going to tell y'all more about the Commander Pro, kind of put y'all on the radar about this wheel. Not a lot of people really know about it because it's not on all the websites. The only website that has the Commander Pro right now is Alien Rides. And this wheel is going to be sick, I think. A lot of people are talking about it on the forums because it is like a direct copy of the Sherman S, and it really is. It's like, dude, did y'all have spies like from Extreme Bull go into Leopard-Kim and infiltrate the systems and like figure this whole thing out? Because they released it pretty much right after the Sherman S dropped. I mean, like right after. So they literally had to have head knowledge between the two companies of what's up, because it looks identical to it. The only difference is, guys, with the Commander Pro is we got 134 volts, guys. So we got 3,600 watt hours and 134 volts, making the Commander Pro the fastest, most powerful electric unicycle ever made. That's simple. Now, if it's going to be able to go faster than any electric unicycle we've ever seen, we'll have to see. That's one of those things that, like, even though it has 3,600 watt hours of power, even though it's a high-speed motor, which I'm thinking the first one's going to drop with, I don't know if you're going to be able to get Commander Pro high torque or high speed. I'm not sure how that's going to work. The one on here, I'll show y'all in a minute, I'll bring y'all in, is going to be high speed that I'm looking at right here. So you got to think about that. 3,600 watt hours, most watt hours we've ever seen in an electric unicycle, high speed motor, and then 134 volts, dudes. I mean, this is going to be ridiculous. I don't think it's going to be like a great racing wheel necessarily, because it's just going to be heavy. 3,600 watt hours is not something you want to be racing with at all. You just got way too much weight to work with. This, I think, we're getting into a category of wheel that I've been waiting for, guys, so much. Because I'm an adventure rider, guys. If you wanted to put me in a category of electric unicycle rider, like what I do, I'm an adventure rider. I like racing a little bit. I like jumping a little bit. I like riding on the road a little bit. I like riding trails a lot of bit. But my whole thing is I like mixing it up and really rocking everything together. And like, I like waking up in the morning and just heading out and going to find trails. Like, that's my whole thing of how I've found so many cool trails and stuff. I'll go to a place that is saturated with trails, you know, and then I'll just go out and ride and find stuff. And 9 times out of 10, I don't even look at the trailhead map or whatever to see how long the trail is or anything like that. I just like riding. I like just heading out there, getting on the wheel and riding. And what these new suspension wheels are going to open up to us that have this insane range, guys, it's going to make it possible to go ride trails and stuff even with a heavy wheel. So the downfall of like the Sherman I have right now, the original Sherman, I don't like taking that thing to go trail riding on it, because what I keep my tire pressure really high in that thing for road riding, just so it's responsive on the road and everything. I like that high tire pressure in that wheel when I'm riding at high speeds on the road. I really do. I don't want to have low tire pressure on that Sherman riding on the road, because if I hit a pothole or something, y'all know what'll happen to the OG Sherman rim. You don't want to have that happen. So my whole thing is I never really take my OG Sherman to trails anymore, just because that thing is heavy, guys, and riding it with a high tire pressure on like off-road trails is just uncomfortable. But I think if I had like the same wheel, like say if I had my Sherman that had suspension in it, like the Sherman S is going to be, for example, I think that'd be the ultimate adventure riding wheel, where you could just, you could hit trails, you could hit dirt roads, you could do all that stuff. And yeah, it's going to be great in the city. Y'all know how rough roads are in the city, and transitions across bridges, and you got, you know, potholes and different lips from construction and curbs and all that. I think it's great in the city. They want to be able to just go ride, you know, all different terrains. They want to hit jumps, want to ride trails, want to ride on-road, off-road, and they want to ride a long way. And we weren't really able to do that comfortably. Like, we were able to do it with like the Sherman, and like you could go out and ride that thing, and since it was the first wheel we had with all that range, yeah, it was fun to go ride it all day and, you know, do what you could on it. But This is just going to make it comfortable, guys, having the suspension there. Like these, the V13, the Commander Pro, and the Sherman S are just going to open a whole new window to these things. Like, it's going to be luxury adventure riding on electric unicycles, pretty much. And the Commander Pro, I think, guys, is going to be a great wheel. And I think from what I'm looking at right here, I think Extreme Bull is actually going to try to make a quality product here. And what I mean by that is, like, if you look at the Extreme Bull, like the first Commander, it was really kind of plasticky. The whole shell just, there was really nothing on it that stood out as being like, oh, that's cool, you know, that's really cool, and they really, you know, that's really refined, and I like that. There's nothing on that really stood out to me like that. But on the Commander Pro, like if you look at this thing, so this is the Commander Pro right here, right next to the EX30. I'll bring y'all in and check this out. Y'all see that? This right here, it's looking like there's going to be metal construction on the sides, just like the Sherman S, guys, which is crazy, and it looks almost, I mean, identical to the Sherman S. And I bet if you like looked at the internals of it, it probably is even using literally like the same exact suspension. I bet the suspension's manufactured in the same exact plant and put in the unicycle the same way. I guarantee you. And I guarantee you, like, just from looking at this, like I think the Sherman S looks better overall. Like, I think the Sherman S looks better overall, and I think it looks like a more refined product. And if I wanted to just grab one of the two based on like looks of like the Commander Pro and the Sherman S side by side, 9 times out of 10 I'd go with the Sherman S. But I think, like, if you want that 134 volt power for whatever reason, you know, dude, when I first got on a wheel that was over 100 volts was when I first got on the S22 at Apple Valley Speedway back in February, whenever the S22s weren't really shipped out much to anybody. And what the way I won the first year at Apple Valley was just relying on the EXN sheer power, dude, because like I was a lightweight rider, and the EXN, when that wheel just came out at the first Apple Valley race out there, a few other people had the EXN, but I really understood where the EXN performed well at, and it was like those straightaways, guys, where you could literally just like, if you can go out there to one of those electric unicycle races and you can literally just power on your straightaways, like you don't even need to hit the corners good. If you can literally just like trust the wheel and just gun it on those straightaways, bro, like it's stupid like how fast you can get going in such a short distance on these electric unicycles. Like, y'all know that, y'all seen it. But what I'm saying is, like, the S22, I got off the EXN, which was powerful as shit, dude. Like, that thing was, I mean, you get up that thing on the straightaway and you could lean as hard as you want, and it just took off. And I was used to that thing for sure, and I loved it. But then I got on the S22, which I think it's like 125 volts. It's not 134 volts, I don't think, all the way up there. I don't remember exactly how many volts the S22 is. 125, I'm pretty sure. But I got on that thing, and you can notice it. You really could notice the difference, dudes. Like, and it was only, so where you notice the difference of the voltage, guys, is when you're coming out of the corner and you're just leaning all into it on like the racetrack, and you literally, after you've already apexed your corner and you're just hitting the gas for a straightaway on that thing, that's where you notice the voltage. You don't get any type of sag in there. You don't get, like with the 100 volt wheels, you can lean hard enough to kind of overpower it, where you'll get kind of a little, you'll notice it, it'll kind of scare you a little bit. Y'all have probably seen it with some of the wheels. You can even do it on some of the Masters and stuff. Like, you can literally make them dip if you power it hard enough out of the corners, guys. So that's where the 134 volts wheels are going to be great. If you're a heavier rider and you're going to be torquing hard out of corners, where you're just like all your weight's on the wheel and you're ready to power out of the corners, the Commander Pro is going to be a race wheel for heavy boys. And like, if y'all been wanting to get into the race hobby and y'all want something that can support you to hold you up as hard as you want to lean on your straightaways, guys, this is going to be the only wheel that could do it. Like if you're a big boy over 240 pounds or whatever, and you wanted a wheel that you could just shoo, just full send out of corners, dudes, Commander Pro is going to be your answer. So I mean, that's it. You're just going to have 134 volts for that. Now, I still like 100 volt wheels. I don't have anything against them. I think the Sherman S is going to be a sweet wheel, but I just don't think it's going to be a race wheel. I don't think it's going to compete with like Master Pros, S22s, anything like that. I think it'll be a fun adventure wheel, and it'll be a race wheel. So from here on out, guys, pretty much only race wheels you're going to see, which not a lot of people really race, dudes. And to be honest with you, until I see some changes at the races and stuff, like, dude, with the last race, there was 2 winners at Apple Valley Speedway out there. That shows you exactly why I didn't go to this one. Is stupid shit like that happening. Guys, back in dirt bike racing, there would never be 2 winners on the podium for any reason at all. That's lame as shit, honestly. And whenever I saw that, I was like, dude, I'm so glad I didn't go to that this year. Like, I'm so glad. And dude, it's just stupid stuff like that happening at those races, dudes, where it's going to have to get better before I attend anymore. I'm not going to drive 20 hours to have 2 people get first place because somebody wasn't satisfied with something. The idiot that took his helmet off in the middle of the racetrack out there should have been disqualified. That's just that simple. That's crazy to me. But anyways, not getting into that. Crazy, bro. Alright. So this is, I'm gonna bring out in and show y'all some renderings and stuff, the Commander Pro. So this, it really looks, the whole top of this whole thing looks identical to the Sherman S, guys. The lift handles, everything look pretty much identical to the Sherman S. It just doesn't look as refined. It looks like basically they went with 134 volts on this thing. They copied the main parts of the Sherman S, like the top handle, the whole overall design. But if you look at like the side right here, like the Sherman S is going to have the magnesium side plates. I don't think this is going to be like magnesium. I think it's going to be some sort of metal on the side as opposed to plastic like we've seen before. I think Extreme Bulls is going to definitely try to make their stand. They're going to try to make their stand here with a more quality product than they've done before. Just because like the old, like I said, the old Extreme Bull Commanders, just a whole plastic side to them. I think this is going to be some sort of metal, guys. Okay, yeah, it says magnesium alloy lightweight side plate. So yeah, it is. So that's why these new wheels are the price they are. I don't know, like, is the V13? I don't think the V13 is gonna have like magnesium side plates on it. I don't think it is. So that's one thing that these are gonna have a huge advantage over, like just the overall look of it, man. If you look at a wheel on, like straight on, I think these are gonna be the first ones where the whole overall side of it's like metal, like magnesium or metal. The Commander Pro and the Sherman S are going to be the first ones ever to have that. And I really might be mistaken on this. If I am, let me know. But I don't think I think the V13 Challenger is a plastic side panel build and all that. Even with the higher price point of like $4,100. But I don't know. Comment below on that because I seriously have no idea. I want to know that because that's a huge selling point, guys. Just the overall, you know, you feel like you got something nice right there if the whole thing's metal and the whole side of it's metal. Like, look at this. You can actually see right here. Let's see. Can I open this image? But look at it. This is a good picture right here where you can see the metal on the side of the Commander Pro. It really is metal. The whole side plate of that is metal. Maybe bolted onto a plastic frame, but it looks like the whole side plate is thick metal, which is great. I like that a lot. That's sick. The more competition, the better. Competition is always good for clients, makes prices lower. I agree with that. Competition is, that's one thing we've seen, like why electric unicycles have evolved so much, guys. If you've ever wondered why one wheels have just stayed lame for so long and never evolved. The one wheels never got like suspension from the factory. They never got more range really. They never got more models. It's because they had that like patent one wheel did to where they couldn't have any competition. Like think about with all the people that loved one wheels and still love one wheels, think about if they opened it up like this to where you had like 5 different one wheel manufacturers. Think about where those things would be at now. Think about how much safer they would be. Think about how much faster they'd go. Think about how much better they would ride. And think about how like all the problems they're having right now with the Consumer Safety Commission and all that stuff, they wouldn't have that if they had competition, because all that would be solved by now. So that's just my rundown. I think competition is great, and like that's why, I mean, that's why you don't want to see wheel manufacturers go away. Like for example, like when Ninebot stopped making like the Z10, for example, like that. Like that was, you know, that was a lot of people didn't think about it this way, but that was a huge hit because man, like Segway's been in the game forever. They could have really evolved and made like Ninebot, like Segway. The Z10 was a great dude for the whenever that Z10 first came out, that electric unicycle with a fat like motorcycle tire. But whenever that thing first came out and I got to ride that, dude, that thing was ahead of its time. Like I will admit, man, that wheel was ahead of its time. If they put suspension in that thing, they would have had a beast and refined a few things with that wheel and kept it around. They would have had an absolute like top-selling beast of a wheel. Ninebot would have. Ninebot, Segway, same company, whatever. I don't know if it is anymore or what, but whenever they stop making wheels like that, it kind of sucks, man, because like, you know, more competition is better in my opinion, you know, and more innovation, more safety, all that type of stuff. And Segway was huge on safety too, so you combine like the crazy speeds and performance of like a company like B-Goat and then a company like Segway pushing safety and then a happy medium between the two over time, and you just get a hell of a good wheel. So that's one thing I love about EUC, man. Like having competition's good. Brings prices down and makes it better. Alright, so let's check out some riding footage of the Commander Pro real quick, dude. A race or anything like that, but it's something you can have fun adventure riding all day. And that's what these new wheels are. These long range wheels, they're adventure riding wheels, man. There's basically like, if you wanted to compare it to like a motorcycle, like this is basically like your KTM like 790 Adventure or 690 Adventure, whatever you want to call it, in an electric unicycle form right here. Is essentially what this is. You know? The B-Goat Masters, like your you know, your YZ250 of electric unicycles. Yeah, it's like a lighter weight, a lot of power, can whip it around fast, whatever. But this is more of your adventure bike type stuff right here. Let's see. Okay, dudes. So this is up close of the actual Commander Pro right here. Alright, check it out. This is up close of it. You can see like where it's kind of been dinged on the sides. You can see that whole metal side to it. It looks nice, guys. It really does. This looks like, I mean, the quality on this thing looks good, to be honest with you. Look at this. It looks huge, though. I mean, it looks like a huge wheel. But the quality looks good on it. And you got the handle that pops up right there on the top. Just like the Sherman, pretty much. I like the design of this a little bit better. The whole, on the Sherman, though, you got the same, like the standard ports, like the original Extreme Bull Commander. Literally exchange. I mean, that's literally the same ports brought over from the old one. This trolley handle looks like a better design though than the Sherman S. The one on the Sherman S looks like it's taller, but it looks like it could be ripped off easier. This one looks like it just is going to be extremely sturdy, be able to tuck down into the wheel and not get damaged ever. Same exact display from the original Commander right there. I noticed that one. Same display, same buttons even from the original Commander right there on the front. How you reach down and press them on the front. Look at this big mud guard right here though. Huge mud guard, huge plush, like supple mud guard on the back right there. I'm liking that. I'm liking the brake light. It's not huge though. You got to get stuff like the brake-free tech light that I mentioned in my gear video, guys, because these brake lights on these wheels just aren't enough. Like that brake-free tech light that I got a discount code for. Check out my gear video. it's a gem. You really need that when you're riding EUC, because just like that brake light, dude, that's not going to do enough if a car is behind you. It really is not. Dude, that looks super high quality right there. That whole trolley handle, like coming from fully plastic electric unicycles to looking at this now. Okay, check this out. So here's the Commander Pro. Here's some riding footage of it. So, like, once you're on it and riding it, dude, it looks like this is just going to be elegant. Like, look at that. Look at the way that, if you look at the Sherman S and the way the suspension glides up and down, and then you look at this one, the way the suspension glides up and down, it's literally identical. Like, it literally is identical. And this one's just going to be 134 volts. And arguably, I just don't like the whole entire design. The whole design of it is just way more simple on the Commander Pro. Just more of a square, boxy, plain design. The Sherman S is just a sweet, elegant looking design in my opinion. But it's only going to be 100 volts. So we'll see, man. I don't know. And I like the whole overall rim. This is like the old school rim right here that we've been seeing with V-Goad wheels and Gotway wheels for so long. And the new Sherman rim looks completely different. It looks like it's a reinforced rim. It's actually like a black rim in there, and it just looks higher quality in my opinion than the Commander rim. This is the Commander Pro going upstairs. So like I'm saying, dudes, yeah, it's that same old school type, same old school Gotway rim on these, which is fine. They really don't have any reputation really of cracking or any problems. You know, and especially when you combine it with suspension now, I don't think that's going to be a weak point. But the Sherman S rim does look like it is completely newer and a better design than this. I will say that. That's one thing that I do notice. It's hard to say, like, because the shell and all the internals in there and all look exactly the same. The only thing that looks different on the damn thing, honestly, is the rim. And just like the styling of the body panels, basically. But, I mean, I guarantee you if you were blindfolded and you got on the Sherman S and then the Commander Pro, if you were just somebody blindfolded you or like, hey, try this wheel and then try this wheel, I bet they would both ride the same. I think like if you could literally take it up to top speed and then like full lean and do one of your just hard leans into it, you definitely would realize which one's the 134 volt and then which one's the 100 volt one, just with a hard full-on acceleration lean. But if you're not a person that's doing that typically, to where you're just hard acceleration leaning, whether it be racing, taking off in traffic, whatever it may be, you probably don't need 134 volts. But that's going to be the difference. With 134, you can just absolutely wrench into it. I mean, lean as hard as you possibly want into it. Like, I mean, you could lay over 90-degree angle if you wanted to, basically, on a 134 volt wheel, and it's going to stay upright and just fly. It literally would just haul ass. And the 100.8 volt, if you hard lean into it as hard as you possibly can, I'm talking as hard as you possibly can, you might get a cutout. Might. And that's just the difference, guys. It really is. And there's no other simpler way to put it than that. So if you want to wait for the 134 volt Commander Pro, you can do it, dudes, and you can pre-order it right now through Alien Rides, through my link through Alien Rides. If y'all want to do it, definitely use my link through Alien Rides, and it's going to be coming out in February, guys. So it pretty much is coming out like in like 2 months from now, basically. So I don't know if I had to choose right now, dude. All right, so like if a fairy came out of the sky, I was like, hey, I got $4,000 for you right now. You can basically get the V13, the Sherman S, or the Commander Pro. Which one are you going with? It'd be a toss-up right now. From what I'm seeing, haven't ridden any of them, but it'd be a toss-up right now for me between the Commander Pro and the Sherman S. Straight up. And and it's simply because, man, they have 600 more watt hours than the V13 Challenger. And I think for this category of wheel, for heavy wheels like this, that where they're going with this, I think the 3600 watt hours is just going to take it because you can go farther. These are adventure riding, long range wheels, and I think that if you're gonna have a heavy wheel like this, you gotta have the range in it. You simply gotta have the range. There's no other benefit to having a heavy wheel with suspension like this unless you can get insane range out of it. And so that extra 600 watt hours, guys, could be the difference in you having to stop and charge and sit there, you know, and wait to get home, or either you just power through and make it all the way back home from your ride. And the 600 watt hours is a good bit. If you've been riding all day and you're trying to make it back home or complete your ride or whatever, that extra 600 watt hours is a big deal that the Commander Pro has and the Sherman S has. And I think that when we see sales on these things, I think a lot of people are going to be thinking the same way. I think the V13 is going to ride good, going to be fast, it's going to be a fun wheel, but I think that the Sherman S and the Commander Pro are going to sell better because for the same price, basically you can get 600 more watt hours in these machines, and it's that simple. And at the end of the day, from what I see right now, I'd probably be putting like 90% be putting my money. I would probably be going for the Sherman S, man. Honestly, out of all three of them, even though the Sherman S is only 100.8 volts, I'd probably be going with that one, just because I respect Leopard Chem as a company, and I know they're not just trying to throw a bunch of wheels out. They're not trying to just put a bunch of crap out there. I think they've really been working hard on the Sherman S to get it right, to get it refined, and I think the Sherman S is going to be one of the best electric unicycles we've ever seen in a long time. I think the Commander Pro is going to be a 6-second competitor, and I think we're going to see higher speeds out of the Commander. So do what you will with that, and that's it, dudes. I mean, that's pretty much all I got for you on the Commander Pro. If I get one to check out, I'd love to show it to you more. I might reach out to Alien Ride and see if they can send one over for me to show y'all up close and do some ripping around and riding on to see just how much acceleration we can get on that thing and what kind of range we can get on it. I'll do some range tests on that thing because that's what it's for. But anyways, dude, it's been Chooch. If y'all enjoyed the video, throw it a thumbs up. I'll see you dudes in the next one.